welcome back to World of Tanks with the Captain, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Black Prince, the Tier 7 heavyweight tank from the UK. Now, the three pillars of tank design. You've got armor. The armor in this tank works. The gun is actually quite good. The speed is really bad. So, yeah. You get 2 out of the 3 with this tank. It doesn't cover all the bases like a KV-1S, which doesn't really have great armor, but it's got a lot of things in spades. Another thing it has in spades is hit points. You've got almost 1,500. You got 1,450. So you're only like, basically got tier 8 hit points, so like a tier 8 medium tank or a heavy tank. So the Black Prince is where it's at when it comes to hit points. You weigh a ton. You weigh 51 tons, so you can ram people. You won't do a lot of damage because you can't go that fast, but people will ram into you, and they will likely take damage because you're pretty heavy. So you've got a horsepower engine of about 600, which is giving you right around 12 horsepower per ton. So this thing isn't super fast, but it also doesn't get slowed down very much either. The traverse speed says 20, but the ground resistance from the wide tracks makes it so it actually turns, and it is quite maneuverable. You've got hull armor of 152 in the front. You got a couple weak spots. This here, that there, and the lower plate aren't supremely strong, but if you can angle the tank like so, it gets pretty hard to shoot some of the weak points on this tank fairly. It makes it hard. So the front of the tank is actually pretty hard to damage sometimes. The front of the turret is really hard to damage most of the time. I really like how the armor works on this tank. It's a lot better than the Churchill 1 or the Churchill 7 or the Churchill 3. It is definitely a breath of fresh air when you come from running those tanks. They get penned fairly easily all over the place, even though the numbers are the same. The armor on this tank is a lot stronger than those. You've got 95 armor in the sides on both the turret and the side of the tank. But if you angle like this or like that, you will bounce a lot of shots. A lot of stuff just dings off this thing or gets eaten up in the tracks. The turret does a better job from the front, but the sides they're pretty flat. There's a little bit of hexagonal looking. I don't know. Is that a hexagon? I don't know. Guess I should have paid more attention in geometry class. But the one place where you don't want to get shot is here. Don't let anyone get in behind you and start slamming shots into your rear, because that's where you're going to get some hemorrhoids. You're going to get some fire back here. It's not going to be good. So keep people away from the back of your tank. You'll do fine. Next, we'll take a quick look at... You only have one turret, by the way. We'll take a look at your turret traverse speed is 30. So combined with the hull speed, you got about... Yeah, it turns fairly well. You can keep up to some things that are trying to circle you. If you got a Leopard prototype circling you, you might be a bit screwed, or a T-71. But other things like a 1390, they can't turn fast enough and they bleed their speed. So that isn't actually too much of a liability. You got 370 view range, which is okay. For a heavy tank, it's actually not too bad. 700 signal range for your radios, so you're not doing too bad there either. You've got a choice of 2 guns, the first one being the 77mm gun off the Comet. It's an okay gun. It's an average medium tank gun. The 17-pounder is pretty much better than it in every way, except for rate of fire. So you've got about 12 rounds per minute coming out from the 17-pounder, which equates to about 4.5 second reload with my current layout with vents and aiming gun length drive. I didn't take a rammer because this thing shoots on the move pretty well. So average penetration of 171 is quite good. You've got a really great APCR penetration of 240, so you can actually take on the front of tier 8 heavy tanks and be able to pen them if you want to switch over and do that. Your alpha damage is a bit low at 150, but your DPM kind of makes up for that. You've got a gun dispersion accuracy of 0.34, so this tank can be used as a sniper. It's kind of like a longbow tank. You want to sometimes engage from far away because the other enemy tanks are going to have even more trouble penning you and shooting at your weak spots. So you don't necessarily have to be up close, and it doesn't really benefit you from being up close in this tank. Keep it at a 45-degree angle and do a constant reverse while pumping shots into the front of them if you can. Aiming time at 2.3, which is okay. It's pretty much bog standard average. The modules I've chosen to use are the vents, so you get 5% better at everything, and the gun laying drive, which gets you plus 10 to your aiming speed. I chose to take this because sometimes when I like to stop and just start shooting people, I could take a vertical stabilizer, but it's pretty damn expensive. It's like 600,000 credits. I had laying drives lying around from my last tank, so it's an option to maybe run a vertical stabilizer instead of a gun laying drive, but I find when you're on the move, your aiming circle isn't very big in the first place, and the thing aims down fairly quick anyway, especially if you have this and vents. So the last module I've taken is the heavy spall liner, because this thing is an artillery magnet. Every douche hiding in the back is going to be shooting at you, especially if you have 2 or 3 arties. You'll find you're getting keyed on, so be on the lookout for that. Always be in crazy man mode, rocking back and forth. Don't ever sit in one space for too long unless you know you're like pretty already safe. You hold about 88 shells. I take a pretty even split of 64 and then 10 and 10. Regular modules for this stuff. I like this tank enough that I'm keeping it. I'm going to use this as a trainer tank for my Conqueror crew, as well as the Chieftain, which is hopefully going to replace their FV Abomination at tier 10. I might keep the Carnarvon as well, depending on what I think about it when I actually get it. I am still fairly far away from the Carnarvon. I'm about halfway there at present. You can see to get to this tank, you have to go through like the Matilda or the Valentine to get the Churchill 1, Churchill 7, and then to the Black Prince, onto the Carnarvon, then onto the Conqueror, and then onto the FE215B, which will hopefully be gone or relegated to be like a tier 9 premium or something stupid, because I don't really like that. I don't like that tank. I don't know. There's just something about it that I dislike, because I've seen a Conqueror in real life and it looks really cool. I just want that tank to be replaced by the Chieftain, and hopefully that will happen sometime soon. Other than that, I've taken repairs on almost all of my dudes. I took Snapshot because I like to have better accuracy during turret rotation and situational awareness, so I can see a little bit further. My view range is probably more, when it's up at 100%, will be more like 390, hopefully. So we're in that range. Not too much else to say is that this tank, when it goes up against other tier 7 heavy tanks, it does extremely well because the armor works, and I've been able to back off lots of ISs or IS2s, Tigers, stuff with pretty decent penetration. The armor does work on this tank, and it's one of the things that I appreciate most about it, that and the gun and how rapid firing it is, and that it's accurate. I find it do a lot better in tanks that are accurate, that have rapid fire guns, as opposed to big derpy guns, but maybe that's just my play style. So I'm going to jump in a couple battles and you can see how this thing performs, and if this is maybe a tank that you might want to have in your garage. All right, we're rolling out here, and as you can see, I am doing 20. Going downhill, I'm doing 21, doing 22. Sometimes you can even get it to 25. But when you're going up hills and stuff, you're going to be looking at like 10 to 15 max. Just chugging along on the new Redshire. New for 9.0. Or was it 8.11? Yeah. So we've got the STD clan on the other team. And they're talking about STDs. I guess that's what you do when you're in the STD clan. So behind me, you can see we got T25AT, a Borsig, and an SG152, and a T28. So there aren't too many heavy guns over on this side of the field. It's really just me in this Tier 7 TD. So I stop, and I spot the Tiger 88, and manage to pump one shot into him. Then he turns invisible, and my cursor drops. And I pen the T-25. I missed that one because he started pulling back. And then another shot at this guy, and the shot went a little bit high. It might have hit him if I would have aimed more near the turret, but I still ended up missing, which was a little bit sad. And that one again went a little bit high. And I'm just going to keep shooting. I got some good shots at this T-34, but the range was so long that things just weren't hitting him. Especially, I couldn't hit him in the hull where I wanted. That one got him in the upper plate. That one hit him in the turret. And I'm losing penetration at range as well. Again, that one went high. So, just the fact that I was able to hit him like once is better than nothing. But those are pretty long range shots. So I can see that our T-25-2 is getting flanked by the AMX M4. And that shot hit him in the bottom of the turret, which is unfortunate. And you can see how small the aiming circle is on this tank. It's great when you're driving along. And I can see that there's a Chi-Ri back over there. So I'm going to give him some British love. That's one of the guys from the Disease clan. Goodbye, Chi-Ri. So I pump him a couple times. Now, will this guy come out? What does he want to do? What do you want? So hit him in the side. And before I can hit him again, he pulls back. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. He doesn't seem to have the gun depression to really do too well in that position. We've got our T-25 AT that's moved up. And side of the turret, and I bounce one shot. And he gets taken out by the T-43, who is down in the riverbed. Our T-25 AT probably should be pulling back. If he just hangs out here on top of the hill behind these bushes, that would be great. And you can just give me cover fire while I go in and push through this other side of the flank. We're currently losing 3-5, but I think we've done a lot of damage to the tanks that were on the hill, and a lot of them are about primed to be killed. So, especially some of the tanks on this side, we shot up a bunch of them. So, and I did ping the Borsig because he was getting to the point where he was going to have nothing to shoot at, so I just told him to move up. And now I see that the Chi-Ri has positioned himself behind the rock, and we've got a Hellcat to my left. And I don't particularly want to give him side shots. I bounced one shot from that T-43, which was sitting right there, who is in the Limbo clan, and they're pretty good guys. It's at this point where I have full hit points and I just stopped caring. So I headed down the hill. And I put one into him. And then he misses. And I took a shot there, but it didn't do anything. And now we've run into a Tiger 2. And I bounced some shots from him. That one did do damage, but he took a whole truckload of damage from the guys in the hill, so that was great. And that just leaves me now relegated to cleanup crew, so I'm just going to push around the bottom here. And this is where this tank does some of the liabilities come in. It's the fact that it is so slow. I can't really chase down this T-43 as much as I'd like to. Like I'm doing 17. And I got the Borsig passing me. The T-25 is going to pass me. So it is one of the things that lets the tank down. But as you can see, the armor worked. I bounced a lot of shots off that upper plate. That was the worst place to shoot me. and all the shots bounced. Only one of the Tiger 2 shots actually made it in. So the T-43 decided to hang out into this depression here, and he's going to pay for it now. I bounced another shot, and then finish him out. We'll just speed this up. And I spot the T-43. And you can penetrate most tier 7 medium tanks, no problem. Actually, most tier 8 medium tanks, no problem as well. And we ended up winning this one. There was pretty much no way I was going to get over to this spot on the map in the bottom corner, just because the tank is so bloody slow. So I rolled through the cap and thought I might head over there, but then I just reversed and came back into the cap. But not an amazing game, but I did about what was it, about 1,800 damage, got 2 kills, and pretty much rolled through that entire flank without taking a heck of a lot of damage. The armor worked, the gun worked, and well, the speed got me into the enemy cap. Let's give it that. All right, we'll jump on to the next game. Okay, so like last game, not top tier again. Actually, we're bottom tier. So the enemy team has E75s, IS8s, M103s, T-4041s. So it's going to be a bit of a game of trying not to be the tank that's going to engage an E75 frontally. That's pretty much what you got to try and achieve. If I can start engaging their tier 7 heavy or medium tanks or tier 8 medium tanks, then that is my goal. I want to try and keep my gun in the game as long as I can and do as much damage as I can. So Arson has positioned himself on the back hill in his SU-100M1, and he's about to hit this T-71 because he thought he was clever. So typically what I've found is the heavy tanks on Abbey will either go here or they will go along the 1-2 lines along here. Most of the time this is a medium to light tank engagement area. See, the 1375's up here, or 131 is up here. 131 actually had a pretty good game this game. So things were looking like I was maybe going to pull back and start covering this area here, but then I saw that there was an IS-3, and I just took a quick snapshot and wanted to get into cover. But then I couldn't actually get in between these buildings. There was no way I was getting through here. So I was like, damn it, I'm stuck here for a little while. I wasn't exactly sure what that IS-3 was doing over there. So I waited a second to see if I could just drop off the radar, but I was able to pull back out. And he beached himself on there somehow. So I shoot him once, and I shoot him again through his spaced armor. And he's managed to turn himself around, and before he can shoot at me, I just reverse out of there. And yeah, the artillery was already starting to shoot at me, so right now I'm just trying to see if I can get shots maybe into these guys if they're going to beat our team on the flank. I also want to control what tanks are going to maybe be coming through the middle. But again, the tank is too slow to be driving over here, and then I'll have an IS-3 on my back. So that's a problem. The WZ-131 smartly came around this IS-3. Even though he took a really big hit there, it got him to turn his whole entire tank around. Then he put a shot into him and managed to pen that shot. And I hit the wrong side of his pike nose with that. I should have waited and aimed a little bit better. A little bit surprised that that one bounced. I guess the angle I was shooting up at him wasn't really fantastic. So now we've got a 1390 driving into the base, as well as an IS-3 to the right. So I'm going to try and reverse my tank back around. But then I decide, okay, I'm going to try and kill this IS-3. So I push up around the corner, and then I'm like, okay, he's not here anymore. He'd pulled out, and I'm not exactly sure where he actually went. But as I'm coming around here, I thought, okay, I'm just going to turn around and head back. So I did this a couple times. Because when I was coming back, I could see the T-69 was here. So I'm going to wait, stop, fully aim. Hit one into his turret, because the turret's not very strong on the T-69. Hit him again. And then I took a shot from the stealthy IS-3. So that hurt. I didn't really need that to happen, but I managed to put another shot into the T-69. And I'm just trying to stay hull down here. And the team's doing okay. I managed to bounce a shot there from the T-69. I'm just trying to get off the radar a bit. So I pop up again. And I don't really have super great shots at this guy. So I hit him. He's pretty close to being dead. He's only got 240 hit points left. And now there's a T-29, and our WZ-131 went up there to try and deal with him. And if there's anything that this tank can do, it's probably take on a T-29 if I can get him where it's just a front-on kind of fight, because my turret is strong, his turret's strong, but I think my hull is better than his. So it looked like the team was doing good in the base. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go up and I'm going to try and engage this T-29. And I got him there, but it didn't do any damage to him. And he managed to pen me in my upper plate. But now, unfortunately for him, I've tracked him. And this is it for him. This is all that he got to do. I just sat here, kept him tracked, and there wasn't anything to do. He didn't have the gun depression to move his tank. So over and over again, I just sat here and shot him. He's only got one more left in him. And enemy vehicle destroyed. And again, the mobility is kind of stopping me from getting back to help with this T-54E1. He kills our 5100. And I don't think I can actually drive up that slope very easily, so I decided to come back around this way. And now pretty much the entire team was converging on him. We got a T-44 and a Panzer IV Waffen, moving in on him. Now there's only 3 tanks left. They have a TD hiding in their base, along with the 2 artilleries. And this was pretty much the game. I don't get to shoot at anything else, primarily, again, because the tank is not very quick. If I was in the T-44, could get over there, kill that TD, and then go and wipe up the last 2 artilleries. But in the end of this game, I just ended up sitting there in the cap because there was nothing else to do. So we ended up killing all their tanks anyway, but it ended up working out pretty good. So this game was about 2,000 damage, only got 1 kill, but Managed to tie up some of their higher tier tanks, like did a lot of damage to the T69. Shot up the IS-3 a few times. Almost completely killed the T-29 by myself. So, actually I think I did kill it all myself. Either way, the game turned out pretty good. So, as you can see, the mobility's bad, but what can you do? The armor's pretty good. It works. You're going to get a hit from time to time, like he shot me in my weak spot right there. But I like the gun. I like the accuracy. The gun depression is good. The armor's good. It covers two of the pillars of tank design pretty well, and as long as you don't really want a super fast tank and you can deal with how slow this thing is, it's a great tank. I really like this tank a lot, and it's a lot better than the previous two tanks in the line. So yeah, I fully recommend this tank, and it kind of feels actually like a Matilda at tier 7 because it's tough, it's got a good gun, it doesn't do a ton of damage, but the pen's decent, and the armor works. And people like to shoot at you, especially the artillery. So, yeah, that's about it. That's all you can really say about this tank. It's basically just like a big longbow that can shoot guys from far away. It's got a lot of armor. It's a big pillbox. So, great tank, and I fully recommend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time.